Hello, cinema peeps.
Hello!
Hey Cinema Peeps, welcome back to another Talkie Tuesday.
Hey, Cinema Peeps! Hey, Cinema Peeps, welcome to another episode of Talkie Tuesday. Woo! Hello, Cinema Peeps!
Hey, cinema peeps.
Oh god, we're barely holding it together, apparently. Things just aren't working, they're not being nice, but we fixed it all.
We did it. We're good. We are back in business, baby.
Yes. And, yeah, this is our last, I guess, little spooky month episode, even though it is
Yes.
November, but we don't care.
It's funny, too, because this is technically episode 31, which comes out the day after the 31st of October, which is Halloween. So, I mean, it all works out. So
Spooky. Oh,
Spooky,
yeah.
spooky.
It's really hard to see, but I wore my other Stranger Things sweater.
Yes, model it quick. Oh, very nice. Yes.
And that's hard, but there's the upside down. The upside down.
So cool.
There we go. Fixed. And see, now
Ripping
I
that
gotta
black milk.
rip that black milk. I make no money, but still. They take my money, but I'm glad. I like it. It's really distracting. The moon is very distracting. Kendra, you didn't post that you watched any scary movies, so I couldn't give you any guesses.
Yes,
It
I
made me very
realized.
sad.
I know. I realized that I did that this week, but it's because the scary movies that I was watching were a little more on the obscure side, so I feel like nobody would really guess them. So this week I'll definitely post a good one.
No, I would have gotten them.
Yeah, of course you would. Of course you would. Yes.
My mind is just so.
You would have given me some good guesses.
They would have been spot on, guessing. Well, I technically, so again, there may not be Halloween movies, but they're horror movies, so I'm just gonna count it.
Hell yeah.
I watched Escape Room 1 and Escape Room 2 Tournament of Champions.
Damn! Wow.
Mhm.
And how was that?
Okay, so let's
Oh no.
buckle in.
All right.
All right. Okay, so the premise, Escape Room 1, 2019. You're like, wow, my life sucks. Anyway, you don't know what's going to hit you yet, and it's going to suck. But basically, 6 strangers come together. What they think they are being invited to is a normal escape room. But surprise, it is not. It's out to murder you.
Dun dun.
Dun, dun. And like I think I said before, I had some mixed feelings about it because I was like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be good.
Mhm.
But honestly, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Okay.
Words the English language. I felt, yeah, like the movie parallels a lot from like other movies like Saw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe in terms of originality, like maybe it, but like at the same time, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Well, that's all that's important, right?
Exactly. And then who was my? Okay, I'm getting all over the place. Let me just start off. A couple things. So yes, I enjoyed it, but like I said, it does do a lot of parallels with Saw. Like I said, these 6 strangers, you learn through each of these escape rooms that they have gone through some sort of trauma, and they're like the sole survivor of whatever event happened to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so they continue to solve puzzles to escape the room, and you start off with 6, and the idea is that it dwindles down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, words are so hard today, apparently. Words are difficult. But yeah, like I said, maybe in terms of originality, it does pull a lot of parallels from Saw.
Mm-hmm.
And the end, a couple of my friends were like, oh, this is very much Squid Game vibes, but I'm probably one of the only few people in the world probably have never seen Squid Game, so
I feel like though Escape Room would have come out before Squid Game, so
right. So like I said, in terms of like originality, like, you know, there's like other properties that are out before it that have probably done that better, but
yeah.
I still enjoyed the characters, and I feel like they made a lot of really strong choices that I really, really liked. Like, one of the early scenes I thought was really smart was to get invited to like this escape room. They're sent this mysterious puzzle box, and supposedly they think it's sent by like somebody they know in their life.
Okay.
It's not. But so you watch these three characters try to solve the puzzle box, but in a way, as you watch them figure out how to solve the puzzle box, you learn about who they are as characters.
Oh.
So as you see, as one of the girls, she's very methodic. She's she's up for the challenge. She's writing notes, trying to understand the puzzle. There's one guy who's kind of basically using like brute force. Like he's just like, I don't get it. So he's just kind of smashing the puzzle box, like trying to get it open.
Yeah.
And another guy who's like Googling like cheats and stuff and like hacks to open it. So he's not doing it for himself in a way.
Uh-huh.
So I just thought that was really smart because you kind of learned about who they were as people and as characters by this kind of opening scene of them trying to open up the box.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Which I say is such, I thought that was a very smart decision on their part. I thought that was super creative and I really liked that.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, by the end, the movie was getting a little sloppy for my taste. Without spoiling, like, there's a couple things I'd like to talk about, but I feel that might be spoiler territory. But I just felt like they just made a couple, like, last-minute choices that were, to me, just felt very sloppy. But at the same time, I was willing to forgive them just because I was enjoying my time with it. So, yeah. So, literally, we had watched the first one, and then we'd watched Tournament of Champions. So, just for you, if you want to watch, or for anyone, I guess, who want to watch these movies, the first escape room movie is on Netflix. The second one is on Prime. You can watch both on Prime, but you have to rent the first one, and like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, why would you do that? Weird. Okay.
Right? It's very bizarre. But that's kind of the whole reason why me and my friend wanted to kind of watch them, is because we saw both of them and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then the whole premise of Tournament of Champions is all about the winners from the last game all come together, I guess, for this, again, Tournament of Champions. So kind of based on like just hearing the two premises of the movies, that's why we want to watch them.
Okay.
But I will say, I much enjoyed the first one. The second one, I did not enjoy at all.
Oh, yeah.
The second one dips hard in my books. Very hard.
Ooh.
But supposedly, we did look up the numbers, and I've completely forgotten. But I guess the first one did very well. I think their budget was just under $10 million or $9 million, and it made $100 million, so it did pretty good for itself. But the second one definitely underperformed a bit. But as I was kind of saying to my friends, all movies I think in 2021 all underperformed. Regardless if you were a Marvel or a DC movie, all the movies underperformed.
Yeah.
Minus Spider-Man No Way Home, which I think was the biggest movie of that year.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed.
I think near like the end half of 2021, movies got a little bit better, but I think most of them weren't peaking like past. I know for a while they weren't peaking past like 10 or 15 million a week.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And again, I'm not including like domestics, like overseas, box office. I think it's most of these numbers are just for here. Region, whatever. So they call it regional, but that's definitely not what it's called. Domestic box office, Jesus Christ. But anyways, yeah, the second one, yeah, I didn't like the second one.
Yeah.
I think mostly because they threw away a lot of the rules they had placed in the first movie. And like, okay, this is too much of a spoil. Okay, I won't say. There's one spoiler that to me, like, really, like, I was like, okay, you can't have a Tournament of Champions. Again, it's very hard to explain, but like basically something that happens in the first movie pretty much contradicts the second movie. Like the second movie should not have been made if this was a rule from the first one.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was really annoying. And I feel like the puzzles, I don't know. It's hard when you're like talking about death rooms. Like, oh yeah, this seems a very reasonable puzzle, the death room. I just felt like more suspense and a weird sense of realism, I guess, with the first one in terms of their puzzle rooms, I guess, and the deaths. Whereas I feel like the second one was a little like, it was definitely like way over the top. There's like a scene, and this is like the first scene in the movie, and you'll see it in the trailer too, where like this bus car is getting electrocuted, and there's like lightning like blasting through the car.
Okay.
And I was like, what, that really fucking happened? Like,
Yeah.
like there's a couple things where it's like, this just seems very overplayed for like the dramatics of it all. But yeah, it's just, there was just a lot of the puzzles that were getting like way over the top, and it's like, okay, this is weird. And then they brought back this random rule, which I know is kind of a rule in horror, or I guess I think movies in general, but you kind of have to like, I don't know. I feel like they pulled it out for no reason, where they were like, if you don't see someone die, they didn't die.
Yeah.
They just kind of pulled it out for like, no, I think only to serve the story of the second movie and nothing else. It was like, I was like, why? This is stupid. This is dumb.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care for for most of the characters. And it was also weird because the movie was trying to be self-aware at some points. And it was like, oh, why is this a thing? I'm like, cool. Is that going to be answered? Oh, no? Oh, okay. Like, why bring this up then?
Yeah,
This is very weird. And then the ending was kind of weird. And it was just like, this is really messy and sloppy. I just, yikesies. It's a lot shorter than the first one. By a lot, I mean, I think 20 minutes shorter than the first. And the first one's not even that long. It's only an hour and 44 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But I say they did a better job in the first one for those hour and 44 minutes than this one.
Yeah.
So I would recommend watch the first one. Don't bother with the second one.
Okay. Okay. Good
Which is unfortunate because it wasn't like one of those times where it's like, oh, they were just making a sequel because the first one did well.
Yeah.
Because I think they were intending to make a sequel.
It just didn't connect
it just did not
very
pan
well.
out. Yeah, and I was trying to Google to see if they were gonna make a third one, but I have no idea. Again, kind of the rumors I read online was kind of having to do with like how the second one kind of underperformed.
Yeah.
But like I kind of said at the beginning, I think that's hard to say since all movies underperformed because
Right.
movies had just gone back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if this is the result after like one sequel from this, I don't know how a third is really gonna tie anything together.
Yeah. Right.
I unfortunately would love closure, but that might just not happen.
Oh man.
I think it just will not happen for me,
Darn.
which is unfortunate. But yeah, Escape Room. First one, yay. Second one, nay. Just don't.
No. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear the first one was good because, you know, especially me, I'm skeptical with some of the newer horror movies, obviously, but that's all you want. It's just I was saying, I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who was talking about this the other day, but that's all I want in a horror movie is I just want to go in and have a good time. I don't want to have to think about things. I don't want to have to like it be all like jump scare, but I just want it to be a fun time, right? Yeah.
I've never said that about horror, but I agree. I agree that you want to go into a movie and just be like, I'm here to enjoy myself.
Right? Like you want the suspense, you want to be engaged, you want to get the spooky vibes, maybe a couple jump scares here and there to add to the fun of it all, but when it just seems like everything's done for the scare or everything is too complex to think about, that's when I don't know, that's when you lose me. But yeah.
Well, I know there was one more thing I was going to try to watch, but I just didn't have the time.
Oh, yeah?
Was the Werewolf by Night.
Oh, yes.
Marvel thing on Netflix, which my friends have already seen, and they said they loved it.
Oh.
So I am extra excited.
Is it a series or a movie?
Just a movie.
Oh, okay.
It's
Cool.
it's under an hour. I think it's like 54 minutes or something.
Okay.
But of course, I was like, I was just curious how it related to Marvel.
Yeah.
Because it's like a Marvel presentation. So I was like, like it has to have like some kind of character.
Or some sort of tie to the universe, I guess.
Right? But I
Yeah.
guess there is a character. Now, granted, is she very obscure? Yes, because I honestly forgot about her. My friend was like, do you remember when we were playing Marvel Alliance 3? And I was like, yeah. And there was that character where like, who the fuck is this? And I was like, yeah. maybe. I don't know. There was quite a few characters I was saying that about. But I guess she makes an appearance. Not the Enchantress. I already forgotten her name. I'm sure I'll remember once I start watching it.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so there is a villain or hero in this Werewolf by Night.
Okay, interesting.
So, yeah, like I said, I was gonna try to watch it, but I didn't have time. But even though it won't be spooky, it's no longer spooky month. I will try to watch it.
Nice.
Because it looks very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I want to play Until Dawn, but I know I'll have no time, so I might just watch a playthrough of it again, because that's another one I love.
Yes.
Playing the game. It's so... I want to say fun. I mean, it is fun, but I just want another describer word other than fun. Entertaining.
There's, I don't know, it's just the storyline of it is so good that you can't, like, you just enjoy watching it every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, just because, I mean, we've talked about it before, right? Especially just because there was this whole lead on where it's like, oh, there's like a serial killer, but is there something else up here? You know, so there's just you're always asking questions like, what is the human? What is the monster?
Mm-hmm. No, they set it up very, very well. They drew off different elements of horror and then did the whole, like, you know, typical, all the teenagers together in the cabin having a party kind of thing. And then it was really well done.
And then boom, monsters.
I wonder if they'll ever turn Until Dawn into like a series or like a movie. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh, I'd be down.
I mean, it technically is like its own movie just by you know playing the game, but even just like the premise of it would be kind of neat to turn into a film.
I think they could turn all their story, if they wanted to connect everything, into like a mini TV series. I think that would be cool.
Kind of like American Horror Story, how they have like their anthology series. Do it kind of like that too. Yeah.
I mean, they do have their Dark Pictures anthology series.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is true.
Although, what was my thought? The newest game is coming out next month, and I'm very excited. The Devil Within Me.
Yes.
Which is based, I guess, roughly on there's like a murder house in England that it's kind of based on.
Ooh.
Where, again, speaking of like escape rooms, Jigsaw, this guy, I guess, built this mansion and he built death traps in it.
Oh, yes.
So the whole premise of this game is that these like documentary kids are coming out to like film this house, and then they get trapped in all these Jigsaw-esque traps and whatnot.
Nice. Well, not nice, but cool.
Not nice, but yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean, girl. So I'm very excited for it. I'm going to try to play a couple of the Dark Pictures games to kind of warm myself up for this upcoming one, but it's not coming out till mid-November, I think.
Yeah. Which is late, because usually it comes out around Halloween, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. Well, the first game I think the first game was supposed to come out in the summer, but then it got pushed back to August.
Or maybe it was just the witch one that came out.
No,
Halloween.
The last two came out Halloween.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. Because again, I think Little Hope was supposed to come out in the summer, but then they pushed it to the fall Halloween. And then they basically were like, yeah, this one's coming out same time. And I think originally this game, well, I don't know. I say originally, it did say it was coming out in fall, but in kind of games in like movie land, fall is anywhere between September to November.
Yeah.
You know? And even still, like November is like that weird month where it's like it can still be considered fall, but at the same time winter, because obviously Christmas and like the hype for like video games and movies around Christmas time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always tricky, but yeah. And supposedly this one is the end of season 1 for them, so.
Okay.
I'm definitely curious, because I know I've said before they've planned to make 8 games out of this, so.
Wow.
Excuse me. So I don't know if they're just gonna regroup maybe maybe reassess if they want to do 4 more, because I mean, like we said, they've come out like every year.
Yeah.
And I will say their mocap for the last one was a little iffy on some of the people.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, Ashley Tisdale got the worst of it.
Yeah, it didn't quite look like her, but...
Right? There was just, like, some things that just weren't working. But I also don't know. Because I know she said it was her first time in the mocap suit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like... And I don't know how different that acting is compared to regular acting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know motion cap and stuff has come really far, obviously, we've talked about before. But I think still with, like, terms of facial recognition, it's still a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, me and my friend are replaying The Quarry right now, which is kind of like a spiritual successor to Until Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think I told you they had, like, a fun kind of throwaway line from, like, Until Dawn. That was really funny. But yeah, I'd say for the most part, for most of the characters, they did okay. But this one girl, Emma, oh my God, I feel so bad.
Oh, no.
Whatever happened, I don't know what's happening with her mouth, but like where the dots were just wasn't correct.
Oh,
like,
no.
Sometimes it felt like her lip like flipped over, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? Or like she'd smile and be like, and then like how her lip was like this, and you're like,
Oh, really?
what is happening with your face? I don't like it. Please stop.
She's possessed.
And it's funny because she's supposed to be like this whole like Twitch, YouTube blogger type character. So she talks to a camera a lot and just her lips are like,
Oh, no.
and you're like, oh, please no.
You're like, take it away. Take it away.
Please no. It was so weird. So I'm hoping, again, with this last game, maybe they fix some of the mocap stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll give their poor workers a break for a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I know it's the same studio that did The Quarry, but I don't know if the exact same people who worked on all these games also worked on The Quarry. So, they're probably tired.
Yeah.
They're probably really fucking tired.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
if they need like a couple years break to recuperate, I'm all for it.
Right? So what would you say now that, like, out of all the games, the Until Dawn games, Dark Pictures anthology games that there are, what would be your favorite?
Ooh.
Let's see.
That's a
Which
tricky
ones? Which
question.
ones? Here, let me just break it down a little bit more. Which
Okay.
one had your favorite storyline,
Okay.
and which one was the most fun to play?
Okay. Storyline. I mean, it's hard to beat Until Dawn, so it's up there.
Yeah.
I do like Little Hope's story a lot, especially the twist.
Yes.
I thought was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's hard for me to, like, I kind of want to group The Quarry in right now, but that's also just because that's the one I'm playing right now.
Yeah.
But it's also because it has werewolves in it, so, like, it's
Nice.
already, like, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But I mean, I might just have to go with Until Dawn in terms of story, but like I said, I think Little Hope and I think The Quarry are very close behind.
Nice.
In terms of story. Most fun to play. Again, I put The Quarry up there just because, again, it's what I'm playing currently, and I just the comparisons from like that to, like, I like Until Dawn, but I do find like it is definitely a slow burner of a game.
Yeah.
Whereas I think The Quarry kind of nips some of that in the butt.
Okay.
Because basically by almost at the end of chapter 2, you get right into it.
Okay.
You're already like, okay, there's like the build up is like kind of the same where it's like, oh, I think something's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really strong prologue.
Mm-hmm.
So like it really gets you into it. And then, like the first 2 are just setting up being like, here are your characters. Oh, these are how you use the controls.
Yes.
But I really did like the last one, the House of Ashes one.
Mm-hmm.
That one was also, again, you could argue it was more of an action, not even quite a horror, but more of like an action-y. Like there was very scary elements to it, but it was definitely more action horror.
Yeah.
More than anything. So Maybe I'll give this point to The Quarry. Maybe.
To The Quarry?
But I'd say a very close second would be House of Ashes.
Nice.
Because again, it was just very... And just the way the story was like set up, like they were at war, you're fighting with another nation, and then out of nowhere you're sunken into a secret temple where now you're like, oh my god, the enemy is everywhere, but also that there are monsters that we have awoken everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was like a really nice story moment because for most part for all the games, like you do get to play multiple characters, but generally they're all part of your party.
Yeah.
Like they have different relationships within that party, but they're generally all together. Whereas House of Ashes was the first time where there was one character that was on the other side.
Yeah.
So you played as a character on the other side. I want to say he is an Iraq soldier, but I'm not quite sure. Nationality, but basically he was on the other side as you are the white people coming, because this was, I guess that would make sense because the story does take place about 2004-ish, where kind of Bush was at his height and they were looking for, and they do mention the game, they're looking for Osama bin Laden, and that's kind of why you go to that location, because you think that's a hideout where he could be. But it turns out it wasn't.
Just kidding.
So that did offer kind of a nice story, like more like a different kind of story, or the fact that you had to play these characters, and sometimes, and again if you're playing with friends, like you had to interact with each other, and and they're soldiers, so they're like, no, you put your weapon down, no, you do your weapon down, do you cooperate or do you fight, kind of thing. So it definitely brought some more funner gameplay elements to the series.
I was gonna say it kind of like adds a different like thinking strategy as far as like you get to see on the other side. So how does that affect how you make decisions throughout the story, kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it was definitely more, again, fast-paced and action-y, you know. And what are words? Again, I could probably talk about them forever. Like, there's definitely all elements that I like about all the certain games, and like other times where I'm like, oh, but I kind of like this more. I guess it depends on like if I'm more in the mood for like more creepier, the slower burn, you know. I think Little Hope probably does it the best with Following Until Dawn. But I think The Quarry right now, even though again maybe it's a bit of a bias because I am playing it again right now, that I do find it very enjoyable.
Nice.
Ooh. But yeah, that'll be... Obviously, we'll never stop talking about horror films, but I think for the most part, it'll probably be slowing down after Spooky Month.
Yeah, we gotta ramp up for Christmas.
Right, gotta get ready.
I'm ready. Yeah, there's some... I hear there's some good Christmas movies coming in the works. We've got Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. We've got a Lindsay Lohan Hallmark Christmas movie coming. Like, come on.
That's pretty soon too. Yeah. I was just watching before we started the podcast. I didn't finish it, but there is a trailer for a Christmas special for the Guardians of the Galaxy that comes out November 25th.
Ooh, nice.
They have their own Christmas special. And I know Hallmark's released their schedule of all the Hallmark films that are coming out.
Excellent.
So I'm pretty pumped. As it were. But in the meantime, before any of that comes out, thank you for watching today's podcast.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in those comments down below. And if you could, you should subscribe. Wink, wink. We gotta get to 69 people.
Yep.
69. But, and if you feel like liking this video, free country, like it. Or not. We'll live somehow.
Yeah. And go check out some of our other videos too. I mean, we talk about all kinds of things. So if you like what we're talking about here, you might like some of the other videos of other things that we've talked about as well. Go check them out. Give them a like.
Abso-freaking-lutely. But till next time, Cinepeeps, watch all the content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Monkey.
And slap.